Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight podcast presented by CVG. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Today on the podcast, we are joined by Building Value Director Cheryl Woodhouse. She talks about how they're creating sustainable careers in construction and their 20-year anniversary. On our Talent Strategies Spotlight, Nancy Spivey is joined by Rob Venable of Life Learning Center and Amanda Peters of the Northern Kentucky Office of Drug Control Policy. They discuss Life Learning Center's upcoming Reentry Recovery Rally happening in July. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, Secret Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsor, Schneller Knockelman. We have exciting news for HR professionals. On July 10th, we are bringing back Happy HR, a networking social for HR professionals and business partners. Join us at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Crestview Hills for a great night of networking. You can register for that event now at nkychamber.com/events. Now, let's go get our business news roundup from Link NKY, meet our members of the week, hear from our sponsors, and Nancy and I will be back with this week's guests.
The Link NKY Business Roundup is sponsored by Payroll Partners. Business owners, CFOs, and HR pros just don't have time for hold times and hotlines. They need Payroll Partners. Welcome back to another Link NKY Weekly Business News Roundup. For Link NKY, I'm Noah Jones, here to fill you in on the latest business news of this past week. Let's begin. The Cold Spring City Council held the first meeting of an ordinance to change the zoning of the former DAV headquarters site from an industrial park to a mixed-use development. The council voted 4-2 in favor, but a second vote is needed for final approval. The 27-acre site at Alexandria Pike and Industrial Road is planned to be developed by Al Nair, LLC, into medical offices, retail, and possibly residential buildings. The Planning and Zoning Commission supported the change due to significant changes in the area, but some of the council members and residents expressed concerns about the development's impact on the community. A final vote must occur within 90 days of the commission's approval, or the commission's decision will stand. The Dayton City Council unanimously voted to allow cannabis operations within city limits during a special meeting. Starting January 1st, 2025, medical cannabis businesses will be legal in Kentucky, including cultivation, testing facilities, and dispensaries. Despite Campbell County voting to ban these businesses, Dayton opted to allow them. Contingent on zoning regulations, council members discussed potential locations and the impact of existing regulations, noting that businesses must be at least 1,000 feet away from schools and daycares, which limits available commercial areas. The council emphasized the importance of medical cannabis for patients and the need to prepare zoning regulations accordingly. License applications will be accepted from July 1st to August 31st. U.S. Senator Rand Paul proposed a gradual increase in the full Social Security retirement age to 70 over the next 20 to 30 years to address the U.S.'s program's financial issues. Speaking at an NKY Chamber event, Paul suggested this change would solve 2/3 of the problem, as opposed to removing the cap on annual taxable earnings. He advocated for a bipartisan congressional committee to explore solutions for entitlement programs such as Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. Without these changes, Social Security benefits may be reduced by 2035. Paul also discussed other topics, including reducing the national debt and promoting civil discourse in Washington, D.C. Safran, an aerospace manufacturing firm, celebrated 25 years in Boone County, Kentucky. The Walton facility produces around 140,000 carbon brake discs and 9,500 wheels and brake sets annually. Since its initial construction in 1999, Safran has expanded several times, including a 50% increase in carbon capacity in 2016. Employing over 350 people, Safran supports programs for Boeing, Airbus, and military aircraft with customers like UPS and United Airlines. Last year, the company announced a $65 million investment to create 92 high-wage jobs. Local officials praised Safran's significant contributions to the community and industry. Well, that's going to be it for this week's Weekly Business News Roundup. For Link NKY, I'm Noah Jones. Thank you for listening.
Why would you travel to England?
For football!
To go or not to go?
That is an easy question. To visit the land of Shakespeare.
To take in all the sights.
Authentic fish and chips.
To experience arts and culture.
2 words, British Open.
To visit my family.
Same reason I go anywhere. For a pint of beer. To start my trip through Europe.
Whatever your reason, there's no better time than now.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we will highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. The UK College of Medicine Northern Kentucky campus is a 4-year medical school campus where students receive their MD from UK's College of Medicine while training in beautiful Northern Kentucky. The Hannah Resource Group is an HR consulting firm that specializes in building Kentucky's best places to work through expert HR strategy and innovative management practices. Human Interest offers retirement plans for all people in all lines of work by offering low-cost, high-quality retirement plans to their employees. Belterra Casino Resort and Spa is a great destination for hosting events and meetings. With 55,000 square feet of flexible meeting space, they can accommodate a wide range of group sizes, from intimate gatherings to events with up to 1,600 attendees. Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by Cheryl Woodhouse of Building Value. Cheryl, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Sarah. Great to be here.
It's great to have you. And so Building Value, you guys are celebrating your 20th anniversary this year, which is very exciting. But for people who don't know about your organization, tell us about you guys.
Sure. Our mission is to accelerate careers in construction for people facing economic and employment challenges. And we also were founded 20 years ago with the idea that we would build a business model of construction and retail that would allow the public to reuse, repurpose, salvage building materials.
Yeah, it's a great organization. Like you said, 20 years is a long time. So tell us about the construction jobs aspect and how you guys do that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. We do a whole range of what we call deconstruction projects. Sometimes before new building happens, a building will be demolished to make way for something brand new. What we do is manually go into a building before it gets demolished or remodeled. It doesn't necessarily have to be demolished, but we will remove cabinets, baseboards, flooring, interesting architectural features like mantles, rosettes, things like that, and then those will get sold in our resale shop in Northside.
Yeah, that's really incredible. Mm-hmm. One of the things that you guys say online, it says that you guys are a triple bottom line organization. What does that mean?
Sure. It's in all of our business decisions. We take into consideration our social mission, our environmental mission, and our financial mission to be a sustainable business operation so that we can serve more people.
Yeah. And what are those missions? Dig us a little deeper into that.
Sure. Our mission really at its core is to accelerate careers in construction for young people, especially people facing economic disadvantage and employment challenges, and then also to reduce environmental waste by repurposing building materials by providing them to the public for resale. So, and I think something very interesting about our retail establishment and our purpose there is that people can reuse something. People can buy a door and use it as a door, or they can repurpose it, and they can turn that door into a tabletop, a garden fence, a gate, a desk, So, but basically, we're giving everybody a second chance, people and the products.
Yeah, that's really a great thing. It makes sense that you guys have been around for 20 years. So tell us a little bit about the impact that you guys have had over the course of 2 decades.
Sure. In terms of diverting materials from the landfill, we've to date about 12.6 million pounds of building materials from the landfill, and we've deconstructed almost 500 homes and helped about 300 people get careers in construction.
Yeah, that is...
And counting, right?
And counting, of course, because you're still going. That is incredible. It's great to know that you guys are out really doing a lot of different work in the community. How are you guys going to celebrate 20 years?
Well, we've been celebrating 20 years by kind of acknowledging many of the different partners who've been with us through highlighting them in articles, advertisements, newsletters, and things like that. But we have a large special event coming up October 4th, and it is an event that's kind of very well loved in Building Values circle of supporters, and it's called Reuse-a-Palooza. And there's lots of things that happen at Reuse-a-Palooza. Local food, live music, lots of fun, but the highlight of the event is the Designers Challenge. And we have invited 40 different artists to come and shop at Building Value. We give them each $125 of credit, and the goal is for them is to create a piece of artwork, home decor, furniture, lighting, fixture that will then get auctioned off at the event. So it's really fun, and people talk about the art and the furniture that's been created for a long time afterwards. So that's pretty neat. That's kind of the focus. But at the 20th anniversary, we're also going to be celebrating the recent retirement of David Rich, who was the director of Building Value for 12 years. And so it's a celebration of him, too, and the work he really spent investing in growing the program.
Yeah, that's incredible. That sounds really cool. Reuse-a-Palooza is such a fun name. I love the concept as well.
Don't try to spell it.
I'm not even going to try. There are many ways that I could mess that up very quickly. But you mentioned the retail shop and that these artists are coming into the retail shop and finding things. And you even mentioned that it's really easy to come in and find different ways to reuse those things. I know personally, I believe I've been to your shop and did reuse a door as a countertop for my old cabinets when I renovated my house.
Oh, very nice.
I was like, I need something that fits this, and I can't buy a countertop. Let's use a door. So it's fun that there are many other people that think the way I think. But tell us about some of the interesting things that have come into your retail shop.
At the moment, well, I'll tell you a few things, and then I'll tell you something we have now. Since I started at Building Value about 4 months ago, we've sold the very large red letters from Kentucky Fried Chicken stores.
Ooh.
And we have Taco Bell signs. We've had a couple of pianos and organs. And just some really interesting and elaborate chandeliers from different eras of building. But right now we have significant amount of industrial carpet squares, ceiling tiles, granite slabs from the convention center that's being remodeled. You know, the convention center is being remodeled right now, and we've got a lot of leftover materials from their last remodel that are available to the public.
That is very cool.
We have lots of carpet squares.
So for those who maybe need some carpet squares for a basement or their own business.
Or even in an office, they're brand new. They just were overrun, and they're in great shape. I mean, we've got a lot of them.
Yeah. So if you're looking for carpet squares, please visit Building Value on the North Side. That is so great. One of the things I know you wanted to talk about as well is how can local businesses get involved with you or partner with you?
Mm-hmm. Sure. I think the big thing is that I'd love people to just keep us in mind and be aware that we're here when they need us. So if they're remodeling their office or a home and they need us to remove the architectural features for the remodel, we'd love to partner in them in that way. And something that someone might not really understand is that the bread and butter of our sales at the store are cabinets, kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
So anytime that we can come and carefully remove someone's kitchen cabinets before they put in new ones, we're on it. So please call us, especially when you have kitchen cabinets. And we also take donated materials. So if you have leftovers from your remodeling project or the baseboards that you're changing up or anything like that. So we're always looking for work and ways to train our crew participants. At any one time, we're training 10 people who are with us for about 12 weeks before they go on to an internship in construction. And I think that's something I sort of really forgot to say that's so critical about our program, and what makes it so fantastic is that after 12 weeks with us, where people are just learning kind of basic, job skills and how to act on the construction site, they go to a pre-apprenticeship for another 3 months, and then they're guaranteed a job.
That's
A
incredible.
full-time job with benefits by Messer Construction or one of their subcontractors.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a phenomenal program, and the participants are paid throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's paid training, and within 6 months, somebody can have a career in construction.
Yeah,
and
that's
been fantastic.
Vital. I know we talk a lot about on our workforce segment of the podcast, we talk about those construction jobs, and those jobs in the trades are really hard to find people that want to go into them.
Right.
So anytime that you are incentivizing that and training people on site and
Mhm.
getting them involved in that is incredible to hear. In that program, is there anything else you'd like to touch on that people need to know, or how they can get involved, or how people can partner with you on that aspect of building value?
Sure, we're always looking for additional employment partners for people to give jobs to our graduates, and people also can just make philanthropic contributions to the mission component. We are a business, we provide services and to support the work we do, but there's always needs by our participants, of course. Work clothes, boots, safety gear, lunch boxes, things like that.
Yeah.
That we help provide people to make them successful at work.
Well, Cheryl, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. It was great to have you on talking more about building value.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. We love being part of the Northern Kentucky Chamber.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C-Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C-Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C-Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Hi, I'm Nancy Spivey, Vice President of Talent Strategies with the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. On today's podcast, I am talking with Amanda Peters and Robert Venable. Robert, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Robert Venable. I work at the Life Learning Center as the Director of Education. I've been there for about 8 years. I'm a Navy veteran who transitioned out of the Navy into an education field where I first started over at Samuel Adams and inside of training and development. And I seen this opportunity for Life Learning Center and to do something that I was more passionate about, that had a mission behind rather than looking at a brewery and what a brewery did. So I transitioned into Life Learning Center roughly around 2015. And as my tenure at Life Learning Center, I've had a few different roles, and one of the roles was enrollment. So I first started as the Director of Education. I transitioned into the Director of Enrollment, and I thought around 2019 that Life Learning Center had a really big footprint in Covington. We have one of the largest parking lots in Covington. Mm-hmm. And if you really panned in on a map or Google map of Covington, you will see that Life Learning Center is literally in the center of Covington. Yes. And, there was a lot of events that were related to bringing the community together in Covington, but I felt like all of them involved alcohol. And I don't want to, say that all of them, but when you think of some of the big events that are hosted in Covington, Oktoberfest, right?
Sure.
I thought, is there anything that we could do to create an event that was a sober-friendly event that folks could bring their family to that would support their recovery? And so in 2019, we held our first annual Reentry Resource Night. And the idea behind that event was to introduce the community to resources that were out there for folks that were transitioning back into society, whether they were coming from a penal or detention institution, or it could be coming from a mental health occupation. It could come from a hospital, but folks that are trying to transition back into society, we wanted to provide them with some resources. And what we learned in that first year was that the community embraced the idea. And I will tell you very pointedly, folks that are reentering into society are going to be your neighbors. Why wouldn't you want them to have all of the resources so that they could reach their full potential?
Sure.
Right. And so our first year, we had probably about 300 individuals show up to the event, and we had somewhere around 57 vendors. And those vendors were in 8 different categories, and I'll let Amanda talk about some of those categories as we get into things. But this is our 5th year. The event has grown. We've brought on different partners, and I'll turn it over to Amanda and let her share a little bit about how she's involved in this.
Sure. Go ahead, Amanda.
Thank you. Thanks for having us today, Nancy. I'm Amanda Peters. I serve as the director for the Northern Kentucky Office of Drug Control Policy. And so we're a board of 7. And so our board consists of the judges executives of Boone, Campbell, and Kenton counties. Garen Colvin serves on our board, as well as Scott Hardcourt, the Drug Strike Force Director, Dr. Jennifer Mooney at the Health Department, and then Representative Kim Mosier, our founding director, is our legislative liaison. So our board was created in 2015, and we had an expansion in 2018, and that's when I stepped in. So I'm starting my 8th year in this work from the beginning. So we're really excited about this event. We really want to embrace recovery and reentry. We know it's the next evolution. You can't have a community that's recovery ready without these elements.
Right.
So one of our goals at the Office of Drug Control Policy is really to build that recovery-oriented system of care. And so we do that across a few different categories that we call prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and reentry and recovery. And so the way we look at reentry is that, like Robert had said, is they're reentering from treatment. Maybe it's a detention center. But we have a whole lot of folks in our community who have never really entered into the support network or workforce development.
That's right.
So
they're on the sidelines, we say. We say that pretty often, right?
Yes. So this event is for them too. You know, we hear a lot about for different folks who may not deal with a substance use disorder, or maybe just not been diagnosed with a mental health disorder. But what about me?
Right.
Well, we got stuff for you too.
Sure.
You know, so this is an event open for everyone. And we're really excited. We're excited to be the first presenting sponsor of this revamped event. And we couldn't do it without the unwavering support of our judges, executives, our physical court, and local governments.
So the event is going to be on a Saturday in July, right? And tell me exactly like where and what do I do if I want to go? What's the process?
So the event will be, this is our first time doing it on a Saturday. So we're excited about this. We're looking at this as an opportunity as we see some of the challenges arise. Traditionally, we've had this event on a Thursday evening. With this event being on a Saturday, it will start at 8:30. Actually, so this is a really unique layout of how this rally will transpire. There's a few different ways that it actually starts and lays out, so I'll talk about a few of those. The first one is the rally, the actual walk. So the walk starts at 8:30 over at Campbell County Detention Center. So we've got an agenda lineup, working with Amanda and her team and our president, Alicia. We've tapped into some elected officials who are planning to speak at the event. So after that agenda kind of rolls through, we plan to get the actual walk started around 9 o'clock to 9:15, somewhere in that time frame. So if you're interested in participating in this rally, you can go to Life Learning Center, and under our recovery tab on our website, you can sign up to be a participant to walk the event. If you don't get a chance to get to that website, that's fine. You can show up at 8:30. We will have a tent. Folks are able to register there. With your registration comes a free t-shirt. So everybody will get a t-shirt. It will the t-shirt will have all of our sponsors on that for the event. There's a few different locations that we're going to have that people can stop, rest, grab some water. We do have some restroom locations for folks as needed. We've also Kenton County Golf Course. They lent us 2 golf carts in case somebody gets tired. So it really is a community effort when you think about it. Yeah, so Covington, we've secured our permit, and same thing in Campbell County. So once they come across the 11th Street Bridge, we'll walk down the Licking River on the River Walk. And as we come across, we'll come across 17th Street and back to Life Learning Center, where St. Elizabeth and Life Learning Center and the rest of our vendors will be there to help celebrate those that have successfully completed the walk. And as we think about what that walk looks like in future years, that may turn into a 5K. Amanda and I had the opportunity with her team to go ahead and do that walk. There's a lot of shaded areas. There's some areas that are not so shaded, but the walk is a very nice walk. I mean,
a leisurely
it's a leisurely type walk.
Yeah.
So once you get to Life Learning Center, again, we will have a band. There will be a car show. So let me talk a little bit about that car show. We wanted this thing to feel like if somebody was experiencing leaving a detention center, and then where would you go? So we asked the same thing of the folks that are showing up in their hot rods or their show cars. We've asked them to meet at Kenton County Detention Center. So if you're interested in bringing a nice vehicle or a hot rod that you'd like to show off, we're going to meet over at Kenton County Detention Center. Mark Fields has authorized permission for us to be over there at 10 o'clock. We'll leave from Kenton County Detention Center and Kenton County Police, Spike Jones and his team. They are going to escort us all the way back to Life Learning Center. So as the walk concludes at Life Learning Center, you will then see a mirage of nice, beautiful, shiny cars showing up, and the band is jamming out to some nice classic music, some classic rock. And so we're really excited about this. We do want to say that, in order to do the rally, there is a registration and a fee that's associated with it. But once you're at the actual event, everything is absolutely free. Absolutely free. And so all of our sponsors have came together to make sure that that has happened. So
that's wonderful. And so to me, it's like, you're right, a very unique event for our region. I don't know of another event like this where you have multiple events in one, right? Multiple opportunities to celebrate and support. And I understand, I believe Life Learning Center, some of your program participants would obviously want to attend, but it's not exclusive to Life Learning Center, correct?
In fact, we've talked with transitions, folks that are over at GLC and in recovery. We're planning to attend the event. We've got folks from ARC and Owington that will be planning to attend the event. Brighton Center Recovery Center. There's some women over there that are in that program. They will be attending and participating in the walk. And then Sunstone in Cincinnati, it's a recovery housing. They have about 38 participants that will be also participating in that walk as well. So folks that are in recovery, folks that are supporting recovery, folks that are looking at reentry services, all that alike will be all in one centralized location with a lot of resources and collaboration from the community to support this effort.
So let me ask one more question, because I am thinking about talent strategies all the time, right? So if I'm an employer and I'm interested in hiring people, am I allowed to set a booth up there, or is there a different opportunity to do that?
Yes, so I'll let Amanda talk about the 8 different categories of vendors that we have showing
that'd be
up.
great.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's really unique is the collaboration, as Robert has already been showcasing here. But it's also for the people who work in this field. You know, the folks that we serve are resilient, but the people I work with every day are resilient. You know, this is hard work.
Yes.
You know, we lead the state in this work. We're excited to work in this work, and we want to get together. So this is an event for really everybody. So there's lots of people that we work with. We're going to have over 80 vendors. Some of those are workforce partners.
Okay.
If you go to Life Learning Center's website, there's a place to sign up as a vendor table.
Okay.
There's no cost in that.
Okay.
We do ask vendors or folks that are going to participate in that way to bring a small raffle item. It could be something as a gift card to Kroger, or maybe it's a laundry basket full of supplies.
Oh, sure.
You know, cleaning supplies are different things for our folks.
Of course.
So we're going to have free food there. We're going to have our raffle. We have an award to give out about our reentry champion. And really, it is a celebration.
Okay.
So as folks come in, there will be, again, there's 80 vendors. And so some of the subcategories that we have are the employment programs or employers. And we like to say transformational employment employers. The mentorship, we have the sober community and networking. So a lot of the folks that run meetings and really help those folks. Because you can't build recovery capital without a network.
Right.
You know, it's
Can't do it in isolation. We all know
that. You know, addiction breeds through isolation. We'll have supportive services through our food banks and transportation and those organizations that serve us that way. Our judicial services will be there. A lot of our folks got to navigate a lot of different things.
Sure.
You know, expungement.
Sure.
You know, and they need these things for job services.
Yeah, they do.
You know, how do you get an ID? How do you get a job without an ID? So helping them with that. Our treatment providers will be there to celebrate, to showcase their work. But, you know, a lot of our folks get questions and saying, maybe I'm interested in this. Maybe I have a family member.
Sure.
You know, maybe I'm just looking for a monthly therapist. You know, it's a way to dip your toes in some of those services, but then again, more education and workforce as well. So there's lots of different things that the health department will be there to hand out and train in the lock zone.
Okay.
You know, we've got our overdose fatality rates recently, and we've had across our region a 5.6% decrease. It's a win for us. Second year in a row that we've had a decrease.
That's worth celebrating right there, right?
You know, and so we look at it as everybody is our first responder. It's just like learning CPR or the Heimlich maneuver. So we want folks to carry that. But that's some of the subcategories. And a lot of these folks will give out some swag. You know, might be a chapstick or a raffle item, you know, those kind of things. But it's fun. You get to collect your things. You get to talk to folks. It's very friendly. And you get to dip your toes into this world in a very, very easy, collaborative way.
Great. Well, I'm just going to hope for a Chamber of Commerce day. That means that the sky is blue and sunny, and there's just an absolutely gorgeous day on July 27th.
That's
correct?
right.
July 27th. And certainly just really appreciate the hard work you all are doing. And I know from just talking to you, the passion exudes.
Yeah.
So thank you, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for having us here today.
Chris Knockelman with Schneller Knockelman Plumbing, Heating, and Air. It's spring now, but before you know it, our ACs are working overtime.
Dave, it's going to be warm soon.
Right now is a good time to get the AC serviced, right?
You can get your AC tuned up for only $59.
So get your $59 tune-up at
SKPHA.com. SKPHA. So if your plumbing and mechanical systems give you trouble, just remember our name, Schneller Knockelman.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about building value, as well as the upcoming Reentry Recovery Rally happening at Life Learning Center. Thank you once again to our podcast sponsors, CVG, Sea Crew Consulting, and Scheller Nachman. Like I said, Happy HR is back on July 10th. Don't forget to register for that event now at nkychamber.com. Finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in joining the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. And if you would like to be highlighted on our Talent Strategies Spotlight, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find their contact information on the screen in front of you if you are a viewer, and our listeners can find that information at our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great 4th of July, and I'll talk to you next week.